My name is Elias Rowan, and I don't see the world the way others do. People say I focus too hard on small things, but I think they just don't focus enough. This story begins at 12:07 a.m., on a night so quiet that you could hear the street breathe. The moon was high, the houses asleep, and the wind whispering secrets through the hedges. And that was when I heard it, a sudden, sharp clang from the midnight garden, the shared patch behind our neighborhood. I didn't know it then, but that sound was the beginning of a mystery that would change everything. Chapter 1, The Fox by the Fountain. I went outside, carefully stepping on the red tiles of the patio, always stepping on the red ones, never the white. The midnight garden lay open like a dark, sleeping room. The old stone fountain stood in the middle, its once blue tiles cracked and pale from years of rain. And there, under the moonlight, was a fox. A tame fox. A familiar fox. Copper, Lila's pet fox. She loved him more than anything. He wasn't moving. A garden trowel lay beside him, its blade still wet. My heart beat faster. I knelt beside him. His fur was warm. He had been alive minutes ago. Someone had killed him. Someone close. Chapter 2, The first clues. Detectives need patterns, not panic. So I made observations, footprints in the dirt, size 9, left foot turning inward. A snapped branch, someone ran through the hedge. A torn piece of green fabric, caught on the thorns. Blue paint on the trowel handle, someone's shed. Copper had not died quietly. I took out my notebook and wrote, someone was here. Someone is hiding something. But who? Chapter 3, The Neighbours and Their Secrets. Our street looks quiet from the outside. But every house holds a story. ###1. Mrs. Hazelwood, the angry gardener ***, she hated animals digging up her roses. She once threatened to snap the neck of a stray cat. Suspicious. ###2. Mr. Tully, the forgetful one ***, a lonely man who wandered at night. Sometimes he spoke to shadows. Possible. ###3. The teenage trio ***, 3 boys who vandalized mailboxes for fun. Copper often chased them away. Very possible. ###4. My father ***, quiet. Sad. Carrying heavy things inside him that no one talked about. And his boots were size 9. I didn't want him on the list, but clues don't care about feelings. Chapter 4, Interviews under streetlights. The next morning, I began asking questions. Detectives do not wait. Mrs. Hazelwood. She slammed her door. Her hand shook slightly. Guilt, or grief? The boys. They laughed at me. But one of them wore a torn green jacket. Mr. Tully. He whispered, the fox saw something. They always see. Strange, but maybe meaningful. I ended the day more confused than when I started. But one thought kept echoing, why would someone kill Copper? Chapter 5, Something strange at home. When I got home, my father wasn't in the living room. The curtains were closed. The air smelled of mud and cold air. His boots, muddy. Size 9. Left heel worn. And on the table, Coppa's red collar. My breath froze. I asked, where did you get that? He didn't answer right away. He rubbed his eyes. Then said quietly, we need to talk. Chapter 6, The Father's Truth. He told me the real story. The teenage boys had been racing their bicycles the night before. Copper ran into their path. They hit him and sped away. My father found Copper limping in the hedge. He tried to help him. Copper panicked, scratched him, and in the struggle, the trowel cut deeper. It wasn't intentional. It was a tragic accident. He held Copper until he stopped breathing. The collar? He took it so he could return it to Lila in the morning. But grief, and the memory of my mother leaving, made him freeze. He didn't know how to tell the truth without looking guilty. I believed him. But something felt unfinished. Chapter 7, the real mystery begins that night. I couldn't sleep. Something Mr. Tully said echoed in my mind: foxes see things. Copper often watched the garden at night. People assumed animals don't understand, but sometimes they understand more than humans. I sneaked out again. And that's when I saw it, a faint glimmer under the bushes. A golden bracelet. With initials engraved. Lila's mother. A woman who disappeared months ago. Everyone said she left voluntarily. Everyone. But the bracelet had blood on it. Not fox blood. Human blood. Chapter 8, the girl with the shadowed eyes. The next day, I went to Lila's house. She opened the door with puffy eyes. I showed her the bracelet. She froze. She whispered, "That's my mom's. She didn't take it when she left." Then she said something that chilled me: Copper wouldn't leave the garden for months after she disappeared. He kept digging. Dad said he was being weird. But Copper was looking for something. Copper hadn't been killed because he was a fox. Copper had been killed because he knew something. Chapter 9, the digging. I returned to the garden with a shovel. Under the hedge, the soil was loose. Copper had dug there. Night after night. I dug where he last clawed the earth. In the dirt, something appeared. Something white. Smooth. And cold. A bone. Not an animal bone. A human bone. I staggered back. Someone hadn't just killed Copper. Someone had killed Lila's mother. Chapter 10, the final reveal. At that moment, a voice behind me whispered, "You shouldn't have found that." I turned. It was Lila's father. The truth crashed over me in a single, cold wave. Copper had dug close to the secret. Too close. Lila's father had killed his wife in a drunken rage and buried her in the midnight garden. Copper kept digging. So he silenced Copper. And now, he planned to silence me. But before he could move, a shout rang behind him. My father. Followed by neighbors. And police sirens. They had seen me run into the garden and followed. Lila's father was arrested. Lila cried into my father's coat. And I wrote one final line in my notebook: the truth is never buried forever. Even in the midnight garden.